Hello. And this is another episode of the series Motivational Monday Live with your host, Aura Elena Martinez. And this week's episode is entitled The Mistakes We Make with Our Wounds or with Wounds. And before I even start, I'm going to start off by introducing myself if this is the first time that you are watching this series. And I also want to share with you what was it that motivated me or inspired me. Speaking of motivation, right? What is it that inspired me to start this series, Motivational Monday Live? So, once again, my name is Orlena Martinez, and I'm a self discovery and empowerment coach, helping women gain total clarity in their purpose so that they can wake up to daily fulfillment and certainty. Now, purpose is not to be limited to just a calling. And why is that? Because you could be living your calling and still not be living your most purposeful life, right? Because a purposeful life also consists of you enjoying greater levels of mental well being, emotional well being, spiritual well being, physical well being, and why not even financial well being. And the reason for that is because every part of you and your life matters. Every part of you and your life matters. Everything is connected. And what got me inspired to even start this series is the fact that Mondays for many tends to be that day of the week that they're already feeling anxious and frustrated. And oh my God, I gotta go to work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I don't like the way this week is gonna go. Oh my God, I don't want to go to work. And I just want to say this. If that's how you're feeling, if you're already feeling anxious Sunday night because you are gonna start again another week, let that be your sign that something needs to change. Something desperately needs to change, whether that's something outside of you or something within you, because you were not designed to dread the beginning of the week. You were not designed to dread going to work. You were not designed for any of that. You were not designed for any of that, okay? So let that be your sign. And it is my intention that Mondays becomes that day of the week that you look forward to. You look forward to because you know you're going to be filled up with goodness mentally, filled up with goodness emotionally, filled up with goodness spiritually. And that this series connects you each and every time to your truth. And why do I say your truth? Because the more you're able to live your truth, whatever that truth is, the more you're able to live authentically. And it's when you live your life authentically, according to your true essence, not some story you're telling yourself, not what someone else thinks that your life should be, but according to who you really are. That's when you're able to experience greater levels of happiness. That's when you're able to experience greater level of fulfillment, where you're not relying on something outside of you to feel so good because it's all within. And also, it is my intention that with this series, your level of consciousness keep rising each and every time. You're going to hear me say that every single week. And why is this important? Because your level of consciousness dictates how much you're able to take in. It dictates if you're able to really see the opportunities that are right in front of you. They dictate what resonates, what doesn't. When some people are able to get something and others are not, it's because certain people are in the level of consciousness to really get it. And it's equivalent to when you're on the first floor and you're looking outside the first floor, everything starts looking big, right? The cars look big, people look regular, same size as you, the buildings look big, right? But if you're on the 10th floor looking outside, things start looking different, right? The cars start looking smaller. People may start looking like miniatures. The buildings don't look as high as when you're on the first floor. You start gaining a different perspective. The more you raise your level of consciousness, the more you're able to gain a different perspective of you, of your life, of everything. And that matters. Trust when I tell you that that matters. People that are living the life that they're wanting, they're in a different level of consciousness. I can guarantee you. It's not just a frequency, it's a level of consciousness. And so it is my intention that this series always rises or raises, better yet to say, your level of consciousness. And once again, the episode of this week is entitled The Mistakes We Make with Wounds. And the wounds that I'm referring to obviously are not the physical wounds, right? These are the internal wounds, the wounds that perhaps others may not see, or perhaps they're able to see, right? Because we're always reflecting what's going on within us. Your actions reflect what is going on within you. The way you speak reflects what's going on within you. What you post is what is going on within you. What you like, it's also based on what's within you. You're always reflecting what's going on in your own inner world, right? And the reason why it's very important for to talk about this topic, right? To bring up this topic is because if you keep ignoring what needs to be healed, if you keep ignoring what needs your attention, if you keep ignoring the actual block in your life, you're just going to keep going in circles, right? You may notice that all your efforts, they basically go in vain. It's like you do, and nothing is clicking, right? You may be hitting a wall, and that wall comes in the form of circumstances, emotions that seem unbearable, right? That it doesn't matter what you do, nothing seems to click. This is a very important topic to talk about because one of the secrets to having the life that you want is you not making any of the mistakes that I'm going to be sharing in this episode when it comes to wounds. Okay. So let's jump right in because I have a lot that I'm going to want to cover. Number one mistake that we can make with our wounds is reacting to the triggers. And I put this as the first mistake that we can make because I've noticed since last year to now, mind you, I've been noticing people getting triggered since 2020. But the triggers, the kind of triggers that I've noticed since last year till now, it's a different kind of trigger. I've noticed so many people being triggered by what they're seeing online in terms of other people, what they're doing, right? And the reason why this is one mistake that you don't want to make is because if you miss this trigger, like if you miss the significance of this trigger, you miss out on an immense opportunity for growth. Okay? So I've noticed people being triggered by other people's success, by other people's constant post, etc., etc. Now, one of the areas, interesting enough, that I am noticing this is in the coaching space, where coaches are actually getting triggered by other coaches, meant to say, success and what they're posting and how much they're posting and the fact that they're in a particular niche, etc., etc. Now, I would dare to say that nowadays, where we're going on in this world, it is inedible to be triggered, right? That is inedible. The real question here is, what are you going to do with that trigger? That's the real question. It's not how to avoid the trigger. It's what are you going to do with that trigger? Because triggers provide the beautiful opportunity to heal, to grow, to mature into the person that you're meant to be. Because that's what maturity is. Maturity is actually growth. Okay. The ways that one can react to triggers would be the following. And mind you, it is numerous, the ways that we can react to triggers. One of them is, and I've seen this, unfriending someone that did nothing to you or that didn't post anything that was offensive to you, and you block them just because, right? Just because perhaps you're feeling jealousy or envy or all this kind of stuff. It's just, I've seen it. It's just insane, right? The kind, by the way, I have a lot of notes here that I'm gonna be sharing with you today. So another way, this is one form that it shows, right, that you're reacting to the trigger. The other one is feeling jealousy and envy. That's another one, right? Gossiping about them. gossiping about them, right? Criticizing them. The list goes on and on. And if you find yourself doing any of these things, I'm going to invite you to do yourself the favor and ask yourself these questions, okay? What's going on within me that I'm feeling this way? What's going on within me that I'm feeling this way? What is this person trying to show me? What is this person trying to show me? What am I meant to learn from this? What am I meant to learn from this? And who am I meant to become because of this? Right? And I'm going to explain to you why you asking yourself these questions will serve you a whole lot more than you just reacting to the triggers. Because by you reacting to your triggers, you may be burning number one, a bridge. You may be burning a bridge, right? One of the things that I've noticed that many have forgotten is how valuable relationships are. Okay? By you unfriending or blocking someone because you're jealous or you're bothered by what they're posting or whatnot, you may hinder yourself from experiencing a beautiful opportunity. You may be hindering yourself, right? A possible friendship, a possible collaboration with that person. You don't know in what way that person can influence you in your life. And here you are burning this bridge because, oh my God, I'm bothered by what this person is doing because they should not be doing that. I should be doing that. Come on now. You're meant to grow from that trigger. You're meant to mature from that trigger. Allowing yourself to react to the trigger is not going to serve you. It is not going to serve you. You deny yourself the opportunity to be inspired. That's right. When someone is doing something that you would like to do, you don't have to feel jealous of that person or, oh, they're not supposed to be doing that. So let me unfriend them. Let me block them. No, 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 no. No, they're there to inspire you, to show you what's possible for you. You don't have to envy them. You don't have to unfriend them. You don't have to block them. None of this stuff, right? You never know why that person had to trigger that in you. You just never know. And I can guarantee you that that trigger is there for your betterment, not to make you worse. Okay? And I'm going to say this, and I say this with so much love. I highly recommend that you do not vomit your triggers offline or online. Do not vomit your triggers. And what I mean is, oh, I'm feeling triggered. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And this is because you're going to attract people and comments that are in the same level of consciousness as you are in, and in the same frequency that you're in energetically. And those people, most likely, they do not have the capacity to raise your vibration and your level of thinking because they're in that same vibe as you, right? When you're wanting to raise your vibration after being triggered, it's going to require you to raise your thoughts and your feelings and allow that trigger to elevate you to your next level and to do within you what is meant to be doing within you, which is not for you to react to that trigger, right? But for your next level. And you do that by asking yourself the questions that I invited you to ask yourself earlier. Because what you asking yourself those questions, what that is going to do is that it's going to uncover the things that you're not yet seeing, that is out of your awareness, that you have yet to discover and uncover. Okay? The second mistake that one can make with their wounds is put a band aid on it. Okay? So if you have low self esteem, if you have self-worth or self-confidence issues, you do not want to put a band-aid on it because the price that you're going to pay is going to be very, very high. And I speak from personal experience when I say this. Okay. When I say band-aid, I'm referring to anything that you're using in order to cover up that wound, thinking that it will heal. Because think about it, when you put a band-aid, what it does is it covers the wound, it protects the wound from it being infected. However, when you have an internal wound and you're putting band-aid, that doesn't heal it, that doesn't protect it from infections. You're just making believe it's not there. And that's not going to do any good. Band-aids can be any of the following, and the list goes on, right? It could be a romantic relationship. It could be overworking. It could be children and babies. That's right. And I'm going to explain later on what do I mean with that. It could be paying attention too much to your looks. It could be sex, believe it or not. Okay. It could be over exercising when you exercise excessively. And again, the list goes on. And when I say that the price that you pay is too high, this is what I'm referring to. The kind of price that you pay. Say, for example, you have low self esteem, you have self worth issues, self confidence issues. The price that you pay, you end up accepting breadcrumbs from people, right? They don't, and breadcrumbs can be that they ignore you, right? They're not attentive, they're not really loving towards you. And it comes in different degrees and different levels. And it all depends. This can happen in friendships. This can happen with family members, especially in romantic relationships. This can happen. It comes in varying degrees. Okay. You may also end up in abusive relationships, right? That's a very high price to pay when you're just putting band-aids on those kind of wounds, on those kind of issues. The other price that you may be paying, and it doesn't even seem like it this way, but it is, you always chasing the next big thing that will make you feel loved or worthy or whatnot. You're doing the next thing because you think, oh, this is going to be the thing that's going to give me the self-esteem that I'm looking for. This is going to be the thing that's going to give me the love that I'm looking for. This is going to give me the approval that I'm looking for. And this is when you can find yourself secretly feeling unhappy, not feeling fulfilled, having this sense of emptiness within you, wanting someone else to fill the need that you should be fulfilling yourself. And so, for all these reasons, you do not want to put a band aid on these kind of wounds. The best thing that you can do when this is the case is for you to face whatever it is that you must face. Okay? Allow yourself to feel the uncomfortable feelings that you're feeling. Because let me guarantee you this, I can guarantee you this. That's where your gold is. Those uncomfortable emotions, those things that you do not want to allow yourself to feel, that's where your gold is. That's where the answers are. That's where the monster is. The hidden monster that you need to be facing. Okay? Do the inner work necessary. That's going to be the key. So if you find yourself in this situation, right, where you have low self-esteem, where you have self-worth issues, where you have lack of confidence, that is not the position that for you to find a romantic relationship. It's not. And the reason for that is because any decision that you make is going to come from that wound. You're not going to have the discernment that is necessary for you to really realize if that's the right person for you or not. You're just not. Any decision that you make is going to be based on that wound. Okay. And most likely, you're going to find someone that's going to be in the same vibrational energy as you are. So if you're not healthy, it's not going to be possible for you to find someone that is healthy. Right. And you're most likely going to miss all the red flags that the person is giving you that they're not the right person for you. Okay. You do not want to overwork yourself just to avoid whatever issue you want to avoid. Say, for example, you want to overwork because you want to show yourself that you could do this, and you want to show the world that I could do that, and that I'm worthy of this, and that I'm worthy of that. No, if you're overworking for those reasons, that's the wrong reason to overwork yourself. Now, if you're working a lot because that's your passion, because that's what makes you feel alive, that's completely different. That's completely different. That's actually going to make you feel alive. But if that's not the reason, it's all the other ones that I mentioned before, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Okay. Focusing too heavily on your physical appearance. That's not, if you're focusing heavily on your physical appearance because, oh, that's when I'm going to love myself. Oh, that's when I'm going to feel worthy. Oh, that's what, no, that is not the secret to true confidence. Confidence is an inner work, not an outer work. I want you to get that. Yes, your physical looks, they do play a role in how you view yourself and how you perceive yourself and how you feel about yourself. Of course, of course. But true confidence, true self love, it doesn't come from the outer, it comes from the in, from what's going on within. So the real secret is you're doing the inner work because it's when you're able to see yourself clearly. It's when you're no longer, excuse me, I heard something and it scared me. I heard something, I'm like, what is that? Anyways, it's when you're no longer attached to, that really distracted me. It's when you're no longer attached to the lies that you're not good enough, that you're not pretty enough, that this isn't this isn't that. That's when you're going to be freed. That's when you're going to be freed, right? That's when you're going to be freed. Now let's talk about children. By the way, before I even talk about children and babies, I want to say this because the reason why I can say that, and I say this with so much confidence, that true confidence doesn't come from looking a particular way. It's an inner work, it's not an outer work, is because I remember before I was 112 pounds, I thought, oh, once I'm 112 pounds, that's when I'm going to be confident. That's when I'm going to feel this. That's when I'm going to feel that. No. Now that I am not 112 pounds, I am much more confident than I was when I was 112 pounds. So true confidence is an inner work. It's not an outer work. Okay, so now let's talk about children and babies. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. And the reason why I mention this is because I've met women who wanted to have kids because they thought that by having kids, they would be able to provide them the love that they feel is not being provided for them or that they're not giving to themselves. And if this is your reason for having kids, that's a very selfish reason to have kids. It's actually the wrong reasons to have kids. And I say that with so much respect and so much love. And the reason why I say that is because it is not the child's responsibility to give you the love that you should be giving to yourself. It is not their responsibility. It is not the responsibility. You are responsible for your own happiness. You are responsible for your own love. You are responsible for your own success. You are responsible for you. Okay, you are responsible for you. The more you heal yourself, the happier you'll be. The more you'll be able to give to people. And the more whole you'll feel. Right? So very important. I wanted to mention that. The third mistake that one can make with their wounds is ignore them. Yes, is ignore them. Ignore them and blame someone else, right? It's this person's fault that I am the way I am, right? Ignore them and project them onto someone else. No, it's this person, but in reality, it's actually you. But it's not pretty to say that it's you, right? Ignore them and hurt other people in the process. Wounds give symptoms. Wounds give symptoms, and some of those symptoms are jealousy, envy, anger towards someone, triggered by someone, sadness, anxiety, a sense of frustration, right? But the symptoms are endless. The symptoms are endless: overspending, overeating. And I want you to know this: what you allow will reveal to you also if there's any wounds that you have to heal, right? Your actions, your actions will also let you know if there's any wounds that you have to heal within you. And why is that? Because everything that you do and everything that you allow, it's a reflection of what's going on with you. It's a reflection of your mental state. It's a reflection of your emotional state. It's a reflection of your spiritual state, right? So when you start thinking about it from that perspective, you're able to then take a look at everything that you're doing and everything that you're allowing, and allowing it to give you the answers that you are seeking, right? What you say and how you say it, believe it or not, these things will also reveal to you if there's any wounds that you have to heal, right? There is a beauty in acknowledging and healing your wounds. There's beauty. There's beauty. And the first reason for that is because healing your wounds will make you a better person. It will make you a more loving person. It will make you a more empathetic person, right? And that's because you cannot give what you do not have. That's the reason why you cannot give what you do not have. Number two, it allows you to shine in the way that you're meant to shine. Think about it. When you're hurt, you emit a funky energy, right? And I want to remind you of something that I said in a previous episode. Even if you try to hide that funk, other people can smell that funk. Other people can sense that funk. Energy is energy, right? You will behave in ways that are not loving when you're hurt, right? And all of that, what it does is it dims your light. It dims your light. And the third reason why there's beauty in acknowledging and healing your wounds is because when you're healed, you're able to heal others. That's one of the most beautiful gifts that you could give to others. When you love yourself, when you heal yourself, when you ensure that you are happy, that you do everything that you possibly can to be happy, you're in the most beautiful position to offer that to other people. Because again, like I said before, you cannot offer what you do not have. And so you loving you, you healing you, you working on you, you ensuring that you are happy, you ensuring that you are centered. Believe it or not, it's not only a beautiful gift that you can give to yourself, but it's the most beautiful gift that you can give to other people. I want you to remember that. I want you to think about that always. Remember that always. So, if you are wanting to work on yourself, you are wanting to heal yourself, you are wanting to uncover what it is that's standing in the way, what it is that you cannot pinpoint that needs your attention, you are wanting to remove the layers that are getting in the way of the person that you are wanting to be, of the life that you're wanting to live, that I'm going to highly recommend that you schedule a clarity call with me, right? Just message me, because in that call, because schedule your call, because in that call, we're going to go over where you are now, where you would like to be, what is needed to close that gap, and how I'm able to help you. Because you don't need to be confused. You don't need to be going in circles. You don't need to not know what's your next step in a cycle that you do not like. That is up to you to put an end on it. Only you can decide to do that. And the first step for you to do that is to schedule your clarity call with me. Okay. So it is my sincere desire that you allow this to really sink in, that this becomes the episode that you're like, okay, what are some things within me that I need to heal that I am not aware of? If you're feeling envy, if you feel jealousy, if you're feeling triggered by something that someone else is doing, that you allow it to be the gift that it is meant to be. That you ask yourself, okay, what is it that this person is wanting to, this that the universe has presented to me is wanting to reveal to me about myself? What do I need to be paying attention to that I haven't been paying attention to? What is this gift about? Because it's meant to be a gift. is meant to be a gift, but it can only be a gift if you allow it to be the gift that it is meant to be. And I'm going to highly encourage you to share this episode with other people. Like, you never, never, never know who right now is in the receiving end of it. And because of this episode, they're like, you know what so and so did? Oh, that was their issue, not mine. So now I'm freed from that. I don't have to think that it's me, that there's something wrong with me, or that they may be feeling any of the things that I mentioned today. And because they listened to this episode, they're like, oh, now I understand why I feel this way. Like, you just never know who this is meant to be a gift to in your circle. So share this with other people. And with that said, it is my desire that you live life to the max the way you are destined to live. And until next time, bye for now.